Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what I hope is a Sunday episode of Ted's Boo Cellar with me, Ted, where I'm finding you guys in a good state of just general well-being and situation. I know that obviously that's a little bit tricky with our outlying circumstances at the moment, but hopefully things will get better soon. So, today I thought I'd go for something fairly fruity for today's episode of Ted's Boo Cellar, mainly because the weather's alright actually. It's pretty nice and rosy, I think, across quite a few parts of the country, even despite some cloudiness. So today we're taking a look at Pulp, which is a pineapple flavoured cider, and this is by... No, I can't actually... Oh, Lervig. There we are. Who are based, from what I can tell, in Norway. So, yeah, this is a Norwegian pineapple cider. Interesting. Very, very out of left field, admittedly, but no, it's quite nice. I never thought of Norway as a cider brewing nation, because in my mind, considering the way British drinking culture is, I always thought of cider as like a summery light weather drink, and obviously Norway does have sunshine in summer, but it's obviously a considerably colder country than Britain, considering it's closer to the northern hemisphere. But I don't know, hopefully this is good. I mean, I've tried Norwegian beer before and that's pretty good, so yeah. This is 4.7% alcohol volume, so it's slightly weaker than, like, say, a pint of Kronenberg, and it contains sulfites, so if anyone's allergic to those, if anyone's allergic to sulfites, do keep that in mind. Now, I got this for $4.99 from the Wine Barrel on Western Road in Hove, so I'm a bit concerned that the price of this might not line up necessarily to quality, and I'm, admittedly, because of the price, I'm generally hoping that this will be a decent quality. I mean, admittedly, I quite like the design of the can and the label, like the chrome combating against the light, weird art style of the logo and the cover of the label. I do actually quite like a lot, so I'll give that a 9 out of 10. It's very interesting and striking, and it does give you a good impression of this being something that's a bit more, you know, interesting and avant-garde, hopefully anyway. So let's give it a quick sniff and hopefully give ourselves a good first impression. So, kind of what I was hoping for is just like that traditionally sort of sharp sort of cider smell mixed in with like pineapple juice, and that's pretty much what I get. So I'd say an 8 out of 10 for the smell. There's this weird sort of candiness at the tint of the smell that I'm not a massive fan of, but it still smells nice overall. So yeah, no, I'm very much encouraged by this. But as always, we don't know what it's actually like until we actually taste this damn thing. So, bottoms up. See, it's interesting because it's one of those ciders that's got like a very 50-50 balance between sweetness and sharpness. And sometimes I've had ciders like that with that 50-50 balance between sharpness and sweetness, with like a slightly perfumey, you know, finish that kind of just has a really unfocused flavour. And see, I feel like with something like an apple cider, or a pear one maybe, that kind of flavour doesn't really work. You have to kind of go slightly more to either the sweeter or sharper end of the spectrum. But this one gets it kind of just right, because I feel like pineapple juice, with the way of how like naturally tart pineapple is, the combining 50% of like sweet and sour and sharpness is kind of just right for something that's flavoured with pineapple. So it's an interesting flavour to go with for something like a cider, but it's actually really suitable for the way that they've brewed this. It's really complementing not just the texture that's very smooth, but also the flavour that's kind of a mixture of different flavours really, really well. And I think I have had better ciders, and I've had better non-apple ciders before, but granted, for what this is, it is pretty damn good. The only thing is that the finish is really good of the flavour, but like the first 50% of the flavour, there isn't like much of an impact, and it like most of the flavour is saved to the finish, so it blows up in your mouth a bit. Now it's not too bad because it's like quite a light, fruity, sort of relaxing drink that, you know, doesn't lacquer the skin off your mouth, so that's not so much of a problem. But it does sort of create this weird contrast between like you drinking it and then you're just like, I can't really taste anything, and then you're like, whoa, wow, that's a lot of flavour. But I don't know, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it definitely might hold it back from being an elite level cider, and I definitely think some people might not like it because of that. I also think this could be a bit cheaper. I think probably I would have personally preferred to pay like £3 or £3.50 maybe, but $4.99 is still not a bad price for what this is. This is actually one of the best ciders I've drank in a very, very long time. So I'm happy to at least pay that much for it at least one time. And I think that price is holding it back for me. Perhaps if it was £1 or £1.50 or £2 less, I would happily go out of my way to get this for myself again. But and I might get it for myself like one or two at a time. It's like maybe like a treat in like the far-flung future, but only when I get like a, you know, a big load of money in, because I don't know, there are cheaper and almost as nice sort of concepts and other fruit sort of ciders that I've had out there that I feel would probably be better money for value. So I don't know, it's good, but there's just like a few characteristics and outlying aspects that I feel like are slightly holding it back. But then again, I've definitely had way worse concept ciders, so I do actually really recommend this for pretty much all beer and cider drinkers. It is actually really nice. Yeah, it's pretty good. And also, I would also be remiss to not mention that it is Father's Day today, and so to any of the hardworking fathers out there today, especially the ones trying to keep their young kids entertained during lockdown, which obviously I'm guessing is probably not the easiest task at times, my hat is off to you, and you are doing a very, very fine job, and I respect what you are doing very much so. And to any of the new fathers whose kids have just been born, good luck, and I wish you all the best in raising your kids, because from what I can tell from my parents, it's not the easiest task in the world, but any parent who can, you know, do it generally well is worth their weight in gold. So my hat is off to you, good sirs. And yes, especially to my own dad as well. Like, well done to you, mate. Like, you do a fine job, good sir. But yeah, no, it's I'm struggling to sort of rate this, but I think I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think were it cheaper, I probably would give it like an 8.5 or even an 8.75, but I think an 8 out of 10 is still very, very good, and especially considering I'm not that much of a natural cider drinker these days. So yeah, well done to, what was the name again? Lervig. Yeah, well done, Lervig. You've made a really good cider here. Very impressed. But as always, if you guys did like this video, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future episodes of Ted's Booze Cellar, leave them in the comment section below. And if you want to check out any of my other online activities, I'll leave the links to my social medias and other YouTube channels in the video description below. But as always, I've been Ted. Have fun, stay safe, wash your hands, take care of your family, drink responsibly, know your limits, and to all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. And I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar. Bye-bye for now.